My guy, Shavkat Rakhmonov, gets his opportunity. He gets to fight in that legitimate top 10 against Geoff Hands of Steel Neal. And I'm not going to lie to you here, AJ. Geoff Neal is a guy that I have not always been super high on. You know what I mean? Like, there was a skid where things looked a little rough, and we're like, I thought, what happened to this Geoff Neal guy? You know what I mean? Like, he was good. I thought he was good. And the answer is, the dude is fantastic. He's a fantastic fighter, very decorated. He's beat a lot of dudes who people don't really give him credit for. And he has the balls to say, I will defend my rank against the, oh yeah, the guy that got like hype like that Hamzat guy, right? He doesn't care. So that begs a couple questions, man. Shavkat Rakhmonov, real dark horse here, man. This dude's on, let me see. I mean, I was going to say, let me see what his win streak is, but there's no need because he's 16-0. We know what the win streak is. This dude mauls everybody and he finishes everybody, and his grappling is phenomenal. But when we're looking at the highest echelon of the UFC, Neil Magny, Carlston Harris, Michael Prazeres, and if you would have saw that size discrepancy, hilarious, and Cowboy Oliveira. Do any of those guys that I just named, besides Neil Magny, which is a very impressive victory, I mean, do they even come close to Geoff Neal's, his strength of schedule? Like, I don't even think it touches that.
Maybe Cowboy Oliveira, just because he's an OG and he's probably fought some absolute killers in there as well. But other than that, not really, Derek. I mean, this is the proving ground for Shavkat Rakhmonov. This is the fight that we're going to see. Is this dude championship ready? Or is he one of the boys that's going to be nipping at the heels? I mean, this is either a make it your number one contender fight coming up within the next two, or you're going to still have to keep building, man. Because you're right. There was a time where Geoff Neal, Hands of Steel Neal, was on the rise, man. This dude was on a rocket ship going. He lost a little bit of steam somewhere in that middle, man. He fell off for a couple months there, somewhere around 2022, 2023. And, he hasn't really taken it over. He started to. You can see the kind of transformation, and I do think it has to do with him taking this fight, man. Having that dog in him saying, bro, I'm not letting any of these little dudes come up and take what's mine. I'm getting back to where I am. Shavkat Rakhmonov is a big deal, though, Derek. Do you think the grappling of Rakhmonov right here is going to be the catalyst that gets in the win? Or are we going to see a stand-in battle? Because if I'm seeing things right, man, I feel like Geoff Neal can stop the takedowns. And we're going to have to see what Rakhmonov has on the hands and feet. What do you think?
I think Rakhmonov is going to be relentless on the takedown. And here's the weird thing. You don't really see Rakhmonov as this technical shoot in like a Mateusz Gamrot. Like, he doesn't just go blast doubles and stuff like that. A lot of his takedowns come from clinch attempts. It's pushing you up against the wall and then just start working on a single, start working on something to trip you down and stuff like that. So he's very crafty, and I think he's going to go to the well with it. I think he's going to have to, because if he doesn't, I think Geoff Neal is going to catch him. And if his last fight was indicative of anything, it was that when Geoff Neal is on, he's clipping you. And if you're bringing pressure to him, you're going to be in a tough spot. But this is my question to you, because I think that this is going to be literally like the name of the game here. Geoff Neal cannot be on his back foot for the majority of this fight and win. He can't. Because you saw it even in the Vicente Luque fight. Saif Saud was screaming at him the entire time. Geoff, move! You can't stand still! Like, he was getting on him, bro. And I think it's because Luque could grapple. He didn't grapple in that fight, but he could grapple. You don't want to be stuck up against the wall, especially against Rakhmonov, because once he gets him down, you're saying he could stuff takedowns, but once he gets him down, can he get back up? And that's the question. And I think that's why Rakhmonov is a minus 550 favorite. Can Geoff Neal get back up?
I don't think so, Derek, and that's what worries me, and that's why I like Rakhmonov. I do think that minus 550 has a lot to do with the hype. This is one of the ones you can't get fooled, folks. Geoff Neal is a real deal fighter, and he has a big shot to get this win. Like you said, Derek, he can catch Rakhmonov, especially if the hands start flying and he's catching him on an entrance, and you see a Geoff Neal counter strike. It can happen. Now, can he get back up off the ground? We haven't seen it, and I don't feel comfortable saying yes, man. I feel like Rakhmonov has the kind of pressure and the skill and the know-how to keep you down on the ground, and that's probably at least where I'm thinking we're going to see the end of this fight.
Bro, he smushed Neil Magny. Like, Rakhmonov smushed him. Like, it made it look like it wasn't even like an effort. Like, and then he smushed him. He had him with like a Darce choke for a second. Like, nah, I'm gonna beat him up a little bit, and then I'm just gonna choke him the right way. Like, guillotine. No big deal, right? I will say this about Geoff Neal, man. He has been taken down recently. Santiago Ponzinibbio, Neil Magny. He even got taken down by Actually, no, that's it. Those are the only takedowns that he's given up besides one takedown against Chase Walden in his UFC debut back in, actually, it wasn't even debut. It was Dana White Contender Series, but the first UFC show type situation, right? Hasn't been taken down a lot. But when you get taken down by a Ponzinibbio, and then you compare that to Rakhmonov, you're like, ooh, that doesn't feel good. So my whole thing here is that at the end of the day, am I a Rakhmonov backer? Absolutely. I think this dude is the truth, the dark horse, going to be a real problem at 170. I do think, though, when we're talking about a litmus test, Geoff Neal, that's the guy right there. If you can beat Geoff Neal, all right, we're legitimate. And if your takedowns don't work, you have that very traditional, like, Russian boxing style. Very traditional. It's not too much flash, very economical style of fighting. Geoff Neal will exploit that all day long. And the moment you come in, he's countering you. If that left hand catches Rakhmonov and Neal was able to clip Luque the way that he was able to, imagine what that's going to do to Rakhmonov. We're going to see what happens, but an undefeated fighter against Geoff Neal, lots of hype. I like Neal to play spoiler, but I would not be surprised if he got smushed too. So we'll see what happens. But I like Geoff Neal here, man, and I'm gonna take this because I feel like this is money from a baby, stealing money from a baby or candy from a baby, however you want to phrase it, if it hits. Plus 700 TKO for Geoff Neal. Are you kidding me? Give me that all day long. I feel good about that one, man, because if he does win, is that not the path to victory? What do you think?
Absolute candy from a stroller, Derek. Literally, it's right there for the taking. Yeah, Geoff Neal has the opportunity to rock the world, man. And if he does, if he lands that big left hand, we see some shaky legs from Rakhmonov, you know that litmus test is a real deal. Mm-hmm. But me personally, Derek, I'm taking that plus 250 TKO on the other side, man. Ground and pound finish all day. Give me Shavkat Rakhmonov and give me round 2 because Geoff Neal is the real deal. So he's going to get past the first for sure.
I like that. And I like round 2 for myself as well right here. I will say this. The one thing that throws my entire game plan for how this fight goes down out the window is if the grappling of Rakhmonov takes away the hands of Neal, which it absolutely can. But you can't always guarantee. Like, MMA is not that simple. You can't just be like, oh, he's grappler. He's not going to be able to strike against him. I mean, once again, Vicente Luque, right? We were like, oh, he's going to grapple. And then he just didn't. And you're like, oh, okay. How do we move on from here? All right, man. With that being said, man, that's contention right there. And we're going to